Hi, here at Team Believe It. We believe every question has an answer, every problem has a solution, and everything is possible. Please subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share these videos with everyone you know. By the way, we save the best tip at the end of the video. Now for today's topic. Debt collection is an essential part of the financial ecosystem, ensuring that lenders can recover funds lent to consumers. However, the process of collecting debts can sometimes be fraught with abuse and unfair practices, which can lead to significant distress for consumers. To combat these issues, the U.S. Congress enacted the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, FDCPA, in 1977. This video aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the FDCPA, its significance, and the types of unfair debt collection practices it addresses. By the end of this script, you will understand the legal protections provided to consumers and the obligations imposed on debt collectors. Section 1. What is the FDCPA? FDCPA, or the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, is a federal law that regulates the practices of debt collectors. Enacted in 1977, it is part of the Consumer Credit Protection Act. The FDCPA applies to third-party debt collectors who collect debts on behalf of others, including collection agencies, debt purchasers, and attorneys who collect debts as part of their business. The purposes of the FDCPA are: first, consumer protection, to eliminate abusive, deceptive, and unfair debt collection practices; promotion of fair debt collection, to ensure that debt collectors treat consumers fairly and with respect; and second, consumer rights awareness, to inform consumers of their rights when dealing with debt collectors. Section 2. Key provisions of the FDCPA. Let's talk about communication restrictions. First, time and place restrictions. Debt collectors cannot contact consumers at inconvenient times, like before 8 a.m. or after 9 p.m., or places such as at work, if prohibited by the employer. Second, third-party contact restrictions. Debt collectors are generally prohibited from discussing debts with third parties, such as friends, neighbors, or employers, except to obtain location information. Third, cease communication request restrictions. If a consumer requests in writing that a debt collector stop contacting them, the collector must cease communication, except to inform the consumer of specific actions like legal proceedings. Next, let's talk about harassment and abuse prohibitions. First, harassment debt collectors cannot use threats of violence, harm, or other forms of harassment to intimidate consumers. Second, repetitive phone calls. Excessive calling designed to annoy or harass is prohibited. Use of profanity and obscenities. Debt collectors must not use abusive language. Let's also talk about false and misleading representations. First, misrepresentation of debt. Debt collectors cannot misrepresent the amount owed or claim to be attorneys or government representatives. Second, threats of legal action. Collectors cannot threaten legal action they do not intend to take or that is not legally permissible. Third, false documentation. Sending fake legal documents or misleading forms is illegal. Now let's move on to unfair practices. First, unauthorized fees. Debt collectors cannot charge interest, fees, or other charges unless authorized by the original contract or state law. Second, post-dated checks. Collectors cannot deposit post-dated checks prematurely. Third, property threats. Threatening to seize property illegally or without a court order is prohibited. Section 3. Consumer rights under the FDCPA. First, the right to verification of debt. Within 5 days of initial contact, a debt collector must provide a written notice outlining the amount owed, the name of the creditor, and the consumer's right to dispute the debt. Consumers have 30 days to dispute the debt in writing. The debt collector must then cease collection activities until they verify the debt. Second, the right to dispute and validate debts. If a consumer disputes a debt, the collector must provide evidence of the debt, such as a copy of the original bill or agreement. Once a debt is disputed, all collection efforts must stop until the debt is validated. Third, protection against unfair collection practices. Consumers can report violations of the FDCPA to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or CFPB, or their state's attorney general. Consumers can sue debt collectors in state or federal court within 1 year of the violation for damages, attorney's fees, and other relief. Section 4. Unfair debt collection practices beyond the FDCPA. First, unethical collection tactics, which includes phantom debt collectors. Scammers who pose as legitimate debt collectors to collect on debts that don't exist or have already been paid. And debt parking, the practice of placing a debt on a consumer's credit report without attempting to collect, forcing the consumer to pay to remove the mark. Second, state laws, and additional protections. Many states have laws that offer additional protections against unfair debt collection practices, often mirroring or expanding on the FDCPA. Let's also talk about the statute of limitations. State laws govern the time frame in which a debt collector can legally sue to collect a debt. Debt collectors cannot sue to collect a debt after the statute of limitations has expired. Third, the impact of technology on debt collection. With the rise of digital communication, the CFPB has updated rules to govern texts, emails, and social media communications used by debt collectors. Consumers should be aware of their rights concerning digital communication, such as the ability to opt out or request verification. Section 5. How to protect yourself from unfair debt collection practices. Know your rights by understanding the FDCPA, and your rights as a consumer is the first step in protecting yourself. Keep records and document all communication with debt collectors, including phone calls, letters, and emails. In handling collection calls, just stay calm. Do not be intimidated or harassed. Keep a record of the conversation. Always ask for verification. Always ask for debt verification and follow up with a written dispute if necessary. How do you report and take action? First, file a complaint. If a debt collector violates the FDCPA, file a complaint with the CFPB or your state's attorney general. Second, seek legal help. Consider consulting with an attorney who specializes in consumer rights if you believe your rights have been violated. Conclusion. The Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, or FDCPA, is a vital tool for protecting consumers from abusive and unfair debt collection practices. Understanding your rights under the FDCPA and how to handle debt collectors can help you navigate these situations confidently. Debt collection is a serious matter, but it must be handled with fairness, transparency, and respect. By being informed and proactive, consumers can ensure that their rights are upheld and that they are treated fairly in the process. As always here at Team Believe It, we believe every question has an answer, every problem has a solution, and everything is possible. Please subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share these videos with everyone you know. Thank you.